Today, I will be presenting about the case Joseph Thomson and the Body Mass Index Assessment Project in Arkansas. So, step one is to provide some background. So, background is body mass index, also known as BMI, is a measurement of health using height and weight. According to National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey from 1999 to 2002, people aged 6 to 19 years old, 31% of them were overweight or at risk of being overweight. This is very important because it showed that over a quarter of Americans were not prioritizing their health. In the early 2000s, 38% of Arkansas students were overweight or at risk of being overweight. This is very important because this is where Joseph Thomson did most of his research because it was his home state, and they were well above the national average of being overweight. Being overweight is a big problem that can lead to long-term effects of health. So step two is to find the current situation. So the current situation is Act 1220 is a statewide BMI assessment to help reduce and prevent obesity among children in Arkansas. And BMI would be sent to parents in hopes that they would take next steps to improve their health. So some strengths of this is data was always confidential, and it would be easily incorporated into other school assessments because prior to this, schools were already testing for hearing and sight. A weakness of this could be that BMI only measures height and weight, so pediatricians may argue that this is not a correct way to measure, is not the most accurate way to measure health because it doesn't take account to other things such as muscle and metabolism. Another weakness is that maybe in low income communities there's lack of equipment. So some opportunities that come out of this is it's a pretty good estimate of somebody's health and health of the general area, and it helps prepare for next steps to improve health, overall health. So some threats could be that parents disapprove of having their children weighed and measured. Therefore, they don't cooperate with next steps in hopes of improving everybody's overall health. So step three is to prioritize core issues. This includes the causes, which are unhealthy eating habits, because accessibility of healthier food options is very difficult in many communities, and uh, unhealthy options are usually cheaper. Another cause could be lack of exercise. This includes no running and outside activity because of electronics and social media. Another thing is obesity is a problem today. Obesity can lead to many other things such as cardiovascular disease and diabetes and other problems, which is an overall public health problem. So step four is to analyze alternatives. Pictured on the right is a social ecological model, and the first approach was to tax unhealthy foods including chips, sodas, and many other things. Could be connected to public health policy to make sure that unhealthy foods are less attainable. Another approach is develop stricter guidelines about what foods can be served in certain schools, taking into account amount of calories and proper amount of macros such as proteins, fat, and fats. This could be considered community because people can deal with their certain district schools and decide what food is ideal for their youth. Step five is some recommendations. So, first recommendation is healthy eating. So, teaching children about nutrition, how to cook, and make healthy eating fun so that they would like to do it. Another thing is when schools are deciding to add new foods to get children's opinion about what they like because in the end they're going to be the ones eating it. Second recommendation is physical activity, so possibly increase more recess time and more funding in sports equipment to explore children's different to help children explore different types of things. Step six is some action plan. So the goal of next year is to increase awareness of the dangers of obesity. And hopefully by 2024 we ban use of vending machines because it allows for the easiest access to unhealthy foods. Goal of 2025 is to create health committees in school districts that assess their areas and steps to decrease obesity. And the goal of 2028 is to gain funding to help create markets in communities and promote affordable and healthier eating rather than fast food. Step seven is my opinion. And my opinion on BMI is it's great for younger children, but I don't think it is ideal for high school because that's when children start weightlifting and weight doesn't always correlate to fat. So therefore, I think that a more ideal way of measuring health is fat percentage, because students who lift may be heavier, but in all, a healthier person compared to those other people. Another thing I learned was that when people around me were more prone to do include healthier habits, I was more prone to participate as well. This includes playing sports, going outside, and just going in the environment. So overall, I think it's important to promote healthy living, because when one does it, it's more likely for the whole community to participate. Thank you, and this is the end of my presentation.